Biological Materials Engineering. Happy to see you parents and children here. I'd like to address any queries we have, but before that we have a small presentation on the department. Maybe you can play the video. కొంచెం సౌండ్
Established in 1959, the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering, one of the oldest departments to be founded in IIT Madras, has been spearheading research ever since. The department today explores and creates newer engineering and functional materials that make a great impact on the industry, academia, and the society.
No, slide, next slide. Okay, as you know, materials are important part of our society, covering various aspects of our life, coming from functional materials to structural materials. So every aspect of our life is covered with materials. So in our curriculum, we try to address all those issues or all those topics in the curriculum. So, for example, biomaterials are the materials which take part in our, either dental materials or, implants in the bones or something like that. Nowadays, sustainable metallurgy has become very important because, as you know, resources are very limited. So, we need to reuse the materials in the way. Over the last 50, 60 years, we have dug up the earth and, extracted so much of material that it is no longer available. Or some of the geopolitics make it not available for us because resources are in China or in some other parts of the world. So then we need to use materials which are already available in our country, and then we try to recycle, and there are a lot of technologies that need to be developed, whether it is magnets or semiconductor materials and things like that. Of course, over the last 20-30 years, nanotechnology has become very important in various aspects, from functional to medicine and so on. And all of you know that artificial intelligence has become a big thing in the last few years. So that also has penetrated into materials. So we have tailored our courses towards that to some extent. So integrated computational materials engineering is a very broad name for where we use computational tools, including artificial intelligence and machine learning, to develop new materials or to develop new processes and new techniques with the data that is available from experiments over a large number of, over many decades of experimental data. So we have, put into our curriculum some courses which address those aspects. And there are other specialized topics like corrosion. As you know, Chennai corrosion is very, very intimately linked because our atmosphere is so corrosive in terms of seawater and then humidity and temperature, and so that makes materials to degrade with time. So that has to be taken care for, especially for structural applications like bridges and automotive and things like that. And then recent times again, India has started an ISM, India's Semiconductor Mission. Semiconductors are very critical for security, energy, and so many other aspects of technology, including AI. So we have actually launched a master's program in semiconductor materials technology from July 2026. Some aspects are covered in the undergraduate program as well. Of course, there are many electives which also people can take and become more knowledge in those areas. As I was already mentioning, that ICME, Integrated Computational Materials Engineering and Machine Learning, they are like somewhat linked in some aspects. And again, additive manufacturing is another technique that has picked up over the last few years. We also have world-class labs in those topics as well. Smart materials are materials which work as per our requirement, structural and ceramics. So basically what I was trying to show you is that the curriculum and the laboratories have kind of integrated several materials aspects. Each one is a separate research domain by itself, but as an undergraduate you get exposed to all of this in some sense. Electives are available for you to focus more on the topic of your interest, and we also have state-of-the-art characterization labs, because all of these materials without proper characterization cannot be used in service. So we do have a lot of characterization labs. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, so we have done the curriculum revision 2 years ago, 2024. So you will be doing that curriculum. So we have like foundational courses, which mathematics and physics are compulsory courses, chemistry. But we start addressing the structural and thermodynamics aspects of materials right from the first year. And then core metallurgy or material science goes into second year and third year. And there is also 1 semester internship possibility is there in the curriculum itself. If somebody wants to intern in an industry, that also possibility has been provided by the curriculum across all departments. This is not unique to our department. So, and then of course fourth year involve project and things like that. And other aspect is that there is a minor course we can do as part of the curriculum. So while you are majoring in metallurgical materials engineering, it is possible for you to do a minor in, let us say, finance or or computational mathematics and other data science and so on. There are so many opportunities available for minor, that as there are certain rules, of course, you need to have certain CGPA and certain other requirements as well. So next slide. Yeah, so basically for those who are coming from various other backgrounds, metallurgy is the science of processing minerals from mining and excavation to processing, but that's from the starting to the end. But in between there are so many other things that happen to the materials. So, and materials itself, as I mentioned, was biomaterials, ceramics, metals and polymers. So many variety of materials are there. So all of that combined together into this processing, and not everything we don't do anything on mining here. In our department, we don't do anything on mining. So there is a common perception that metallurgy is always related to mines and so on. Mining is a separate subject by itself. But what we do is certain amount of extractive metal, that once we get the ore, certain faculty work on how to get the metal out of the ore and things like that. But many other faculty work on synthesizing new materials and so on and so forth. Next, we can have a video by a student who is one of our. This is myself, but we can go to the student this thing, because I am anyway speaking here. Yeah, this is one of our just graduating student, Aravindan, who is just finished his dual degree in this year, and he is going on to MIT for his PhD. So we have just taken his opinion on the department. So you can play that.
Hello everyone, I'm Aravindan, a final year undergraduate student in the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering at IIT Madras. I'm currently going to be pursuing my PhD at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the US, and I'm here to talk to you about why you should be joining the department at IIT Madras. With a very modern curriculum and world-class research laboratories that are very much aligned with the trends in industry and academia, this gives a perfect opportunity of growth very early on in your career. IIT Madras also offers a lot of flexibility in the academic curriculum, with over 35% of courses in electives, offering over 15 different minors. In addition, it also allows you to pursue an interdisciplinary master's degree in modern fields such as artificial intelligence, robotics, and nanotechnology. IIT Madras also offers exceptional research and corporate internship opportunities from very early on in college that can lead to very productive placement and graduate school outcomes. Similarly, IIT Madras also has a very strong placement records for final year students, as well as excellent graduate school opportunities where a lot of people end up in top colleges in various places across the world. Last but not the least, IIT Madras has a very lush, green and beautiful campus at the heart of Chennai city, which makes it a very pleasant experience throughout the stay of 4 years. Thank you so much, hoping to see you in IIT Madras.
Yeah, so he is one of our bright students. Of course, any career future depends on how you do here. So nothing is guaranteed. You have to do well to be able to get good placement or go on to better colleges and so on. So I do like to emphasize that just coming into here does not guarantee anything. You have of course crossed a big hill and then you landed here, but you have to continue here. The real learning in engineering starts here. So I would like to emphasize, especially to the parents and the students, that coming to IIT Madras or any other IIT for example, is only beginning of your learning curve. It's a different learning. The way that subjects are taught till now is different from the way subjects will be taught now. There will be more of more challenges in different ways. So different atmosphere and different peer group. So you need to have that again stability in your thought process to carry on from where you. Of course, you have done well so far, but there is a curve which is slightly steeper here. And if you do that, especially the first year is a bit of a challenge because the environment and the way the subjects are taught, everything will be different, right? So it's important that wherever you go, take a deep breath and take one month off. You have one more month or 1.5 months, take off, relax and come back fresh, because we have seen several young JEE advanced passed out students coming here and jaded, completely jaded. They feel like burnt out. So we do see them in the first year completely off the track. So I do like to emphasize that it is important that parents and children spend some time, quality time, and understanding that this is a new beginning. You do have to, whichever branch you take, all branches are good in my opinion, because we all have to work together to make an engine, an aero engine in an aircraft. Mechanical engineers, metallurgical engineers, electrical engineers, everybody has to work together. It's not like one branch will lead to a product. Every engineering branch is important, then only the complete product will be made, right? So that is why, of course, based on the rank you get a particular engineering branch, but it has potential for collaboration with. Do you know that Sundar Pichai was a metallurgical engineer, from IIT Kharagpur? He was passed out from Vanamani school here, class 12. And then, of course, he has moved on to do great things in computer science. So opportunities are there in every branch, provided you have that outlook and you have that perseverance to pursue it. Okay, so it's important that first year students focus on the job when they come here. Okay, we have excellent facilities. Of course, many IITs have grown. Every IIT will have certain facilities of importance. So our best students they really done very well. One of them is Aravindan, who is going to go to MIT, which is not easy to get. MIT, they invite you and you have to make presentations multiple times, and they invite you there for interactions and so on at their own expenses. So, yeah, next slide. So this is some laboratories. Yeah, can you just play the video?
The prominent areas of research in the department are alloy development, structure-property relations, mechanical behavior of metals, materials characterization, welding and additive manufacturing, corrosion and surface engineering, structural and functional ceramics, electronic and energy materials, fuel cells, polymers and colloids, metallurgical process modeling, computational materials science and engineering. The department has a plethora of active collaborations with reputed universities worldwide and the industry. This has resulted in powerful discoveries and innovations that positively influence the entire.
Yeah, so I'd like to emphasize that we also invite a lot of experts from outside the country. Do have a lot of collaborations with foreign universities, Japan, Germany, USA, France, and so on and so forth. So they do come here, and we also send our scholars, and even undergraduate students also go to Japan, Germany, based on certain fellowships that are available, internships and so on. So there are plenty of opportunities, provided you are in the top of the class. Opportunities are obviously there only for a limited number of people. So in terms of opportunities, there are there, but you have to be on top of the things. Yeah, next slide. Next. This is Mayur, one of our students. Yeah, please.
Electrical and materials engineering at IIT Madras, and I will be heading to Stanford University this fall for pursuing my doctoral thesis in the Department of Materials Science and Engineering. When I joined IIT Madras through JEE, I did not fully realize what material science is, how broad it is, and its interdisciplinary nature. But over the 5 years I have spent in the department, I got enough opportunities to explore various fields such as metals, ceramic, advanced manufacturing, additive manufacturing, and various classes of materials through coursework, research projects, and various internships and fellowships. And what I especially value about the department is how interdisciplinary it is. So it gives you confidence to work with people from different engineering disciplines and scientific background, and which is necessary to tackle complex engineering problems in your career further. And the professors here are very supportive, and they genuinely encourage students to take initiative and explore globally through internships, etc., and build their own path. And through the department, I had opportunities to work on various amazing interdisciplinary projects. And so, if you are someone who enjoys science, engineering, making and building things, the department has a lot to offer you in coming years. And I hope you join IIT Madras for your studies uh, further. Thank you.
Yeah. So, so I think I have given a broad overview of the department and what kind of things we do. If there are any specific questions you would like to have, and I'm happy to answer. My colleague is also there, Mr. Shankaran.
Yeah.
He is also a faculty in our department. So we'd like to address any queries or any questions you have.
So what we have heard is like in terms of technology, like we have to do the masters to get better. Is that the reality, or should we get enough for getting the job?
Again, it depends. There are more lucrative opportunities if you go to masters and PhD. But at bachelor's levels also, people do get into. One of the things which has happened over the last maybe 5 to 10 years is that number of undergraduate students getting into core branches is very less. So that's because of the market dynamics. I cannot really pinpoint a particular reason. The salaries offered in, let's say, finance, or they go on to do MBA and things like that. That's their choice. We don't force. It's true for every branch except computer science, perhaps, or electrical engineering. Majority of the other branches, like even including mechanical or chemical, undergraduate students do go on to do other things than core branch. It's a fact. It's across IITs, not just IIT Madras, because of the the other aspects. But one thing I just want to alert the parents is that it's like the initial salary or package, whatever you call, is probably very high in those branches or in those careers. But in a core, it's like it's a compounding effect. So you have to stick to the core to be able to really make a career and make a good money over last 35 years. Whereas in the other things, maybe after 5 years you get saturated. So the opportunities may dwindle after that. So of course, these are all situations which varies from individual to individual, but in the core is where India really needs engineers.
What are the core industries where we have placements?
Yeah, core industries are like JSW, Tata Steel, but to be honest, these industries are not taking IIT graduates in recent times because of their experience with the IIT graduate students, because they join and within few weeks or within a few days they leave, or some of them don't even join. So they kind of experienced this over the last decade or so. So they started going to NITs and other tier 2 colleges. They prefer them or even master's students because they feel that they are more reliable in terms of their commitment to the industry. So this is a fact. To answer your questions, things have changed dramatically in the last 5 years. We have also a lot of aerospace industries coming in, like Agnikul, startups. Many startups are there nowadays in the last few years. The big ones are Tata Steel, JSW, and Hindalco, Nalco, aluminium, and there are many core industries, including automotive industries.
And what is the sort of role they perform?
Yeah, so again, it depends. Some of them are like computational requirements. So they do design. There are tools which allow you to develop new materials and so on. Some of them are based on testing. So involves knowledge of the internal structures of materials and their properties, correlations, and so on. For example, a lot of things fail in industry. When things fail, why do they fail? How do they fail? people have to really investigate and find out the reasons, and also designing of structures. So it's again, industry jobs are kind of interdisciplinary, like they also need some amount of mechanical knowledge and electrical knowledge. Or now semiconductor industry is a big thing now. One of the things I want to highlight here for the undergraduate students is that India requires probably about tens of thousands of semiconductor engineers who are understanding of semiconductor materials and their processing and their performance, because there is a big factory coming up in Gujarat and so on, and there are a lot of developments happening. So we are closely working with several semiconductor industries like Lam, which has visited us a few days back, and Applied Materials, Micron. So several of these companies are actively collaborating with us to develop human resources for their companies. So several of our postgraduate students join these companies. Undergraduate students not so much, but postgraduates do. In fact, our postgraduate placement this year was almost like 95%. Undergraduates were, we don't know because they do the other things which we are not aware. So they. Yes, a lot of startups have been also is a big thing in India, in IIT Madras. Undergraduate students, we do have a Center for Innovation, which kind of facilitates this interaction, setting up of. Yeah, oriented. Yeah. Correct.
And if we have to rely on ourselves, given the geopolitics situation of AI disrupting services itself, we would think people, lot more people from metallurgy discipline setting up their own.
Yeah, see, every engineering industry, a materials engineer is an essential component, because what do you build? We build things with materials only, right? Okay, leave the software aside. Even software also, the hardware part of it is still materials. The AI and everything is materials. Yeah. So startups are definitely coming in, but one of the major challenges of setting up a startup or a company with metallurgy is that its investment is very high. The capital investment is very high. So that kind of this thing. But they do what do they do is, for example, fuel cells, batteries. There are a lot of startups, PhDs, masters, undergraduates together. They work together. So they tie up with IIT Madras or other institutes for the capital investment related works they do here, while the ideas and everything they do in their this thing. So there are several opportunities nowadays. Prime Minister has announced the Research and Development Fund of, I think, 1 lakh crore or something like that. Now that's promoting a lot of startups in core industry, not just the service sector. So there are opportunities. It's not just one person, it has to be a team of people. So a group of, Ether Energy, all of you familiar with, right? That was started by our undergraduate students of engineering design. It started as a small thing, now it's a multi-billion-dollar, company. So again, batteries are important materials. We have to develop our own batteries. Again, lithium is a very rare resource, very controlled by China and some other African countries. China, of course, China has kind of captured some African countries and their resources. So the idea is to recycle the existing lithium batteries. How do we recycle? Of course, all our cell phones, we have lithium batteries, right? So our life is like maybe 5 years, 4 years for a conservative person, but maybe very less for other people. So after a few years, what do you do with the battery? So it has to be recycled, right? How do we extract the important? It's not just lithium alone. There are other important minerals like materials like nickel, cobalt, gold, in some internal circuits and so on, copper. All of these have to be recovered. Again, importantly, with less energy consumption. So that is where sustainability comes in, because you have to put in energy to take them out. Again, CO2 emissions and greenhouse gases, global warming, all these come into the picture. So see, all these have to be addressed. Metallurgist is essential for all of this. Without that, all of these industries will not work.
There is a layman view that
Yeah.
opportunities in semiconductors were limited in India, but we need to really oppose.
Yeah, see, when we started this program in semiconductors in our idea is not just for India alone. You know, the engineers, see, majority of our engineers go abroad, right? So we always have that outlook that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So we think they go and come back, you know, it's a circular in some sense, right? So India definitely requires, we were talking to the LAM, people a few days back, we do require tens of thousands of trained, technical engineers on semiconductors, various aspects of semiconductors, not just, materials aspects alone. So where do they come from? So we need to start somewhere, yeah.
Sir, question the BTech program is 4-year program, right?
Correct.
So some may continue for PG after BTech, some may continue for PG.
Yeah.
And if they're completing BTech, what are the cross streams they can switch over based on the electives?
Yeah, so as I said, the opportunity, they can do the project or they can do electives. See, one of the things I would like to highlight is that the core courses, whatever we're talking about, is only 40%. So again, humanities and all are there 5-10%, and you have roughly 50% of the courses are electives, which means you can, if with a little bit of planning and so on, you can really, and minor also I mentioned, you can do a minor in some other stream. So you can really do some, topic and then, do a kind of a number of electives in that. So that allows you to enter into, see, computational aspects of materials is definitely one branch one could go in. There are also, the design of materials and design of equipment. So chemical, mechanical, electrical, semiconductor means there are also electrical aspects to materials. So computational. And I am only talking about core, but non-core there are many.
We can choose any of the PG.
Yeah, we have that IEEE, no? That,
IEEE is a dual degree program, but he is talking about as an
from here you can migrate. That's what he is asking.
Yeah.
From materials you can migrate.
You can switch to definitely other branches. Yeah.
That's called IEEE.
So
interdisciplinary
see,
program.
interdisciplinary
dual degree
means
program.
across
so you get a
several
BTech from
streams.
here and then MTech from that branch.
From other.
Yeah, energy materials, energy systems, there is an interdisciplinary program. Data science, there is an interdisciplinary program, and electronic materials, there is an interdisciplinary. Finance, there is an interdisciplinary program.
In 5
that
years
is the
you can
most
finish
sought after
both.
Interdisciplinary program in finance, quantitative finance. So there is also entrepreneurship interdisciplinary thing where you can, startup and comes from there. Preliminary aspects of entrepreneurship is taught there.
In the past, how many? So in the past, in the metallurgy, considering the metallurgy, in the past, how many students majorly switched out to which streams do you have in science about?
Yeah, as I said, undergraduates very difficult because they have moved on to some other, most of them are going into banking. I remember a number of students saying they are in, even this year they were passing out, number of students have gone to Bank of America, ICICI Bank and so on and so forth. So we are a democratic country, so people can pursue whatever they want. But core, as I said, I already mentioned, I think core number of students going into core is very less. It's a completely reversible situation from, let's say, 30 years ago. I was also a student here, 1992 to 96. So number of students going for PhD or MS abroad was almost 80-90%. Okay, we had only 25-30 students. 25 students usually regularly go abroad for MIT or Stanford or Harvard and so on. Now it's hardly 2 or 3. So we have given those 2 examples. They are the only 2 who are going out of this thing. They come back as, in fact, one of the things in our department is almost 10 of us are alumni from the same department, coming back either from a BTech, MTech, PhD and coming back as a faculty here. So, so that academics, once you go for PhD, industry opportunities also there. Number of people are in very high positions in industry. For example, applied materials CMD is our alumnus. Dr. Suraj Rangarajan is an alumnus of our department. Number of them are doing very well in industry abroad or here. Dr. Vijay Narayanan, I don't know, some of you read Hindu. M.K. Narayanan, he writes articles regularly in Hindu. How many of you have read his articles? Even yesterday also there was an article. He was National Security Advisor to the, I think Dr. Manmohan Singh's government. His son Vijay Narayanan was an alumnus from here. He is now a senior vice president in IBM, USA. He was honored with the Distinguished Alumnus Award last year, working on cutting edge AI and semiconductor chips development. So he was here a few weeks back, delivering a distinguished lecture. So number of alumnus who have done very well, is very large. And Dr. Natation company, Natation Synchrochrones is a company in Chennai. She is the managing director is Shubha Natation. She is our alumnus. She is a MD of that company. She is it's a family business, but hardcore metallurgical industry. Okay. So.
This entrepreneurship IEEE program, does it help in getting into your own business?
Yes. So we have a very good startup ecosystem in IIT Madras. Okay. So they are mentors who handhold with an idea they handhold, and there is a funding, and there is a research park. One of the great things about IIT Madras is its research park, which has hosting number of startups and number of industry, so there is a continuous engagement. So startups generally start in incubation cell here and then go to research park, and then Aether was like that. It came in IIT Madras and then moved to RP, and then now they are a listed company. So there are a number of such companies. Yeah. So one of the things about materials is that it's not just metals. It's about various aspects of other materials, the ceramics. All of them are very critical in Indian, security or defense, energy. Every aspect of our life is touched by materials, right? Biomaterials. Most of the scents we use are imported, right? The quality ones we get, it's used of a material called shape memory alloy. I don't know, students just have heard of this term, shape memory material. So they are stents in the heart. Yeah, they are also used in when you are launching a satellite. So they crumple it, and then when it goes there, you heat it, and then it becomes like an antenna. Because to save space, so the shape memory concept is used. You can also actuate certain functions in that. So what I am saying is that there are many challenges in materials, and India as a nation needs all these new technology, because some of these are cannot be transferred by countries. For example, the aero engine blade is a special type of material. We can still not make it. It's done by only 1 or 2 companies in the whole world. So that is how the technology is so critical for nation's growth. So we still rely on Russia to supply some of this stuff. They only give the material, they won't give the technology. So challenges are there.
How do you foresee, down the line, would it increase the gold, the mine, metallurgy?
Yes. So materials will become very critical. There is a government also launched something called critical materials or critical minerals mission, semiconductor mission. This idea is to, like the way right now we have a situation where our oil and gas supplies are limited, right? We don't have enough storage capacity, or we are not stored enough, right? When in the case of war you store, right? You have storage things. Similarly, similar things exist for critical minerals as well. We are not, by the geography, we don't have resources of, let us say, nickel ore, nickel resources or lithium resources. Then what do you do? Somebody says, I cannot supply it to you. China is closed. China has closed all magnets related imports or exports. So we need magnets. For all our technology, magnets are very critical.
So
right?
by the time, so these guys, if you are in UT,
Yes.
down the line 4 years, they also say that's the 2030.
Yeah.
So do you think
Yes. In the next 10, 15 years or even more, I would say next 25 years, Prime Minister keeps saying, Honorable Prime Minister says, Viksit Bharat. Some of you have heard. Viksit Bharat cannot happen without materials, period. Viksit Bharat can only happen if you are sustainable or self-sustainable, self-sustaining in materials. Viksit Bharat, a developed country by 2047, right? So that cannot happen without materials being part of it. So if India has to be developed, materials have to be there. So that's the way it is. Without materials, any semiconductors, magnets, fuel cells, batteries, everything is right now we are importing.
So basically you're saying percentage might increase, the students might stick on to the course.
Yes. See, one of the challenges of this that the salary aspect, right? If students have to stick to a job, the salary is what determines, right? Core industry in India still do not play. Tata Steel pays about 15 lakhs for a UG student, or 13, 14 lakhs. But other companies like Google and all pay 70 lakhs or 1 crore. But you can't compare Google with Tata Steel, right? So again, the kind of attrition at Google and so on will be very high. You will be, when you give a lot of money, they don't give you for free. They also squeeze you out. After 5 years, you completely no juice left. Possibly, yeah. That is correct. So as I said, core growth is linear with maybe some jumps here and there, but whereas that can be a very exponential growth, but then exponential decay also can happen. Right? So growth and decay can happen. We can't predict future. For definitely with the AI, one thing for sure, AI can really disrupt all other branches of whatever traditionally high-paying jobs can no longer be or can no longer are protected, right? All coding and computer science is no longer attractive, but still materials, still it is. But AI or other things can be used in a better way in materials engineering. Yes, so we have invested heavily in that domain. So there are a lot of interdisciplinary activities in that domain. So AI can be, it's not like materials you are studying, you don't study AI at all. Nothing like that. AI tools or AI knowledge can be used in materials, metallurgical and materials engineering. You can, if you want to develop a new alloy. Yesterday, I don't know if you have observed news, one flight in Frankfurt, it just collapsed. I don't know, some of you have seen the landing gear. The landing gear is a very important material. Every time the flight lands, it lands on a, the first nose cone, nose wheel lands, right? The impact it endures is very high. So materials, very sophisticated materials are used to withstand that. It's not just one time, right? Every time it lands, it probably does every day 2 landings or 3 landings, depending on the amount of flights. So that collapsed. It's because of material failure. So what I'm saying is that you face problems, now they have to investigate what exactly happened, whether some defect in the material or some aspect. So a lot of those challenges are around us, and as you know, the greenhouse gases or CO2 emissions have to come down. The flights are one of the important greenhouse gas emitters, right? How do you reduce that? To make the aircraft weight less, how do you reduce the weight without losing functionality? Right? It has to still carry 300, 400 passengers, but the weight of the aircraft has to come down. Right? The engines have to be still powerful enough that they still take you to the destination without, right? So a lot of challenges in materials. How do you, composites are used, carbon composites, fiber composites, plastics, lightweight materials. So all these only will allow you to reduce the weight and then improve the performance, right? Engine performance has to be improved. The input temperature, you know that the engine, when you are flying on the left and right side, you see engines, right? They are operating at almost 1200, 1300 degrees centigrade, which by other means the alloy will melt. But there are so many developments, technology, cooling, materials, very high end materials like super alloys are used, so that the material withstands that. You often hear the term that engine is on fire, right? Sometimes engine is catches fire and then the aircraft has to be immediate. That's because a material has failed there. An alloy which is supposed to withstand those temperatures has failed. So there are interesting materials challenges in every high end to low end. Okay, so both. So even the juice can which you use, is also a very important material that is made. steels. See, that can is almost this much deep. How do you make that? You take a thin sheet and then make it into. It requires special production. It's not trivial. Okay, so all those aspects are involved in materials engineering.
Yeah.
Traditionally, it was metallurgy. Now, metallurgy and materials, we have kind of integrated several other materials into the curriculum as well. Yeah.
What percentage of the coursework involves lab?
Yeah, for every theory course there is a lab. Yeah. So every theory course which we have roughly about
Some other department comes. Yes.
probably 15-20 professional core courses. Each one has a lab associated with it. Yeah. And we have invested heavily in the last 3 years, thanks to Professor Kamakoti. He has really helped us in getting the funds and this thing. We have really upgraded our labs significantly over the last 4-5 years. So we have now a lot of opportunities for state-of-the-art labs. So one of the challenges we face as teachers is lack of interest from the students. So that is something which is bothering us. One of our students is here. You can introduce yourself. Come. He is third year now, right? First year. Yeah.
I am Rishit, first year pseudo-sophomore, pseudo-first year student in IIT Madras. I will be entering my second year when you guys come to first year. So,
Yeah.
I'll be around. You can ask me anything if you want to ask. So, yeah.
So I was addressing their batch probably a couple of months back. Lack of interest. So this is, I am just telling the parents that you can have conversations with your child if he or she. It's not necessarily only metallurgy. Please remember, this statement is not valid across disciplines, whether it is computer science or metallurgy or naval architecture. It's across, because the kind of distractions that the students have or the child has nowadays is overbearing on the academics. So that's the root cause of several of these problems. So I am alerting you so that you need to really think about how to get out of this, because as a teacher we face this problem that we go with a lot of passion to teach and then the student is at the back
12 o'clock.
in their mobile phones and sleeping or conversing among themselves. That's not very good sign for us. I had to do this multiple times to the first year, second year, third years. So these are challenges we teachers face. It's the root cause is the way we have developed over the last. Technology is a double-edged sword, or maybe triple-edged or quadruple-edged sword. It can cut people. It can also make people. Yeah. It comes under the metallurgy, but that part is very less in the curriculum. Yeah. We have more of processing of materials, synthesis of materials. Extraction part is very less. We used to have, because there was again, curriculum revision happened 2 years ago because several people said the students are overloaded because they come from a very arduous preparation across, over the last 4-5 years of their schooling. So we have kind of been asked to reduce the credits in the first 1 year. So there were some compromises have to be made because you can't reduce curriculum just like that, right? So, for example, iron and steel making, which is like a very, very important course for a metallurgical engineer, has been made an elective now, which cannot be, if I ask my teachers 30 years ago, they said, what is happening? They will be shocked. We have an extractive metallurgy course, which is a core course. So, some amount of that iron making and steel making will be taught in that. So, we kind of we have to make such compromises to accommodate the so-called stress on the students. Students are stressed, teachers are stressed. I don't know.
They're preparing sincerely until the competitive exams. And what you told is actually surprising. They're not interested because the nature of the subject is suddenly changed.
Correct. So sometimes I do not know, I don't have the data, but sometimes the child has some other interest, the parent has some other interest, so they're kind of forced into, after some time they say, this is not my interest, I'm just doing because my parents told me to do this. These statements have come, But that's why I'm asking you to have a honest conversation with your wards so that they should do what they like. But at some point I understand at the age of 17, 18, probably they really don't know fully what they like. Some do, I'm not denying that, but some probably are confused. So that's what I'm saying, ranking, all these, I cannot unfortunately do any role on that. I can only, give you. But one thing I want to tell you, whatever subject you do, if you do well, there are plenty of opportunities. Only thing is you have to do well. Okay, that's the critical part. And interdisciplinary, so you do get to do other things as well. Mechanical engineering, you can't. For example, a mechanical engineering student, a BTech student, working very closely with our faculty and developing new ways of waste recycling, battery recycling. So she, one day, first year student, just came to my office and said, sir, I am a mechanical engineer, I want to work in this area, can you guide me? So I just put her in touch with a person, a faculty who is working in that. Now she has a patent, and she has published a paper, she has gone on to do many things. So one day she came and said, sir, your guidance helped me. I said, okay, but you did the work. So what I'm trying to say is, interdisciplinary aspects are very much, kind of facilitated in IIT Madras. Of course, probably in other IITs as well. I cannot just say IIT Madras is the only place where it's doing like this. There are opportunities across disciplines. So although you are in metallurgy, but you can, go on to do other things. But you must do your stuff also. You have to earn your credits. Yeah.
This department, another department is going to present here now, so we have to wrap up.
We have to wrap up. Okay. So if there are no pressing questions, I would like to thank you for coming, and happy to see a number of you here. I think Professor Mahesh Panchagnana's podcast is something which all of you should subscribe on the YouTube. Some of you have heard of this. Professor Mahesh Panchagnana is a faculty in applied mechanics and former dean. He has taken it upon himself to give podcast on various engineering branches by calling distinguished faculty and scientists. So if you subscribe, he will get an idea of each topic and its capabilities and what future holds for that. If you just go to YouTube and type Mahesh Panchagnana podcast, you get all the resources. Even as late as yesterday, he has had a kind of podcast with Professor Kamakoti, giving his opinion on now that the admissions are there, which branch. So those kind of discussions are there, and various branches of engineering. Yeah. So thank you very much. There is a slot for the next department. So thank you very much, and I think we also have a slot tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. If there are further questions, you can brainstorm at your home and come back. We are happy to answer. Thank you.
I would thank Professor Sharma for the thing, and I would like to give this as a token of thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll be